Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your social science chapter number 4, that is how the traders became the rulers part 2. In our first part we had discussed about the Wellesley's policy of annexation and how the Britishers expanded their rule in India. So the Wellesley's policy of subsidiary alliance and how the states like Hyderabad, then Ayodhya, then Scindias of Gwalior, then Gaikwads of Vadodara, Peshwas of Pune, right? So these all states were annexed by the subsidiary alliance system of Wellesley's. Okay, now today we'll study about the second part, in which we'll study about Dalhousie. So he is also the Governor General of the British, okay, Britishers Governor General, and today we'll study his policy of annexation. So before I start with the explanation, again I'll explain you what is annexation. Right, so annexation means what? So annexation means to capture or to take away the property or the kingdom of others without his permission. Okay, so that is annexation. So now we'll study Dalhousie's policy of annexation. The aim of Wellesley's policy of expansion was to enslave the native kingdoms without using much of the British resources. Right, so his policy was such in which the princely states who had accepted the subsidiary alliance had to maintain the British army, and they had to keep one representative of Britishers in their court, royal court. Okay, so here he was trying to use as much as less resource as much as possible. Okay, and further, the states that accepted the subsidiary alliance considered the British as their friends, because it was a kind of a trap. Right, we have seen that subsidiary alliance was a kind of a slow poison. So in the beginning, the kings who took the help of the Britishers through subsidiary alliance, they felt safe, but later on they realized that they were actually trapped and they were dependent on the Britishers and they could not take their own decisions. Okay, eventually, in the absence of internal and external threat, they became irresponsible and their administration started deteriorating. Now what does this mean? So as we know that the army, right, the British army, if any war took place with the king, then he could not take the decision directly. He had to consult or take the permission of the British army to use their army, and always there was a British representative in the royal court of the king. So always he used to interfere over there, and he used to help the king in taking the decision. So now the kings, they had become very much secure. They did not have any kind of tension. They were out of the worries and everything. So they had become so much relaxed that slowly and gradually their states started deteriorating. Deteriorating means the quality of management started degrading. Right. So the states means the kings, they become irresponsible, and the administration means the management. Right. So it started becoming worst and worst. The outcome of the conspiracy of the British was the anarchy in many princely states. So the outcome of the conspiracy means a secret plan which is made for some harmful motives. Okay, so a conspiracy means a secret plan which is made to cheat someone. Okay, so here the plan which was made by the British Governor Generals, right, why it was made? So the main intention was that to take away the kingdom, and because of that they killed some of the rulers, and a situation of anarchy occurred in many states. Now what is anarchy? That we have already discussed. It is a state of disorder due to the absence of non-recognition of authority. That means if the king is dead, right, then there is no one to look after the kingdom for a temporary period of time. So that period of time is full of chaos. That means what to do and what not to do, right? A situation of confusion. So the Britishers took the advantage of that and they took away the kingdom. The Indian rulers got trapped in it. The British got an excuse to start interfering in the internal affairs of these states on the pretext of putting an end to anarchy. So as I said that the kings, due to any reason they were put behind the bars, that is jails, or they were killed, and due to it a situation of anarchy occurred. That means everything was out of control, just because there was no one to manage the kingdom, right? And the Britishers took the advantage of it. That means the Britishers told, they started interfering, that no one was there to manage the kingdom, so they took over the charge and they themselves started taking control of the kingdom. They annexed, that means they captured or took away many states under the same excuse. Thereafter, Burma, so Burma is at present Myanmar, and regions of Punjab were also annexed. If the king died without a son, so you might have heard about the famous story of Rani Lakshmi Bai, right? They were also suffering the same thing, okay? His state was annexed. In this way, Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur, etc. became the victims of policy of annexation. So what did the Britishers do? They made a policy that if any king did not have his or her own child, means the king did not have his own child, then the kingdom will go into the hands of the Britishers. Okay. Next, Dalhousie aimed at helping the British traders to make huge profits from the trade of tea, coffee and cotton by capturing the areas that produced these commodities on a large scale. So as we know that when the Britishers came to India, they just came in the form of a traders, and when they were trading, they were supposed to pay the taxes to the kings. Now slowly and gradually they had started capturing the kingdoms also. Now they had a lot of power also. So what they did is that they were in search, or they were in need of tea, coffee and cotton. All these things were very much in demand in the European nations. So they wanted the maximum quantity of these things to take away to England and the European nations for selling. So what did they do? They captured these places where the production of these things were taking place. So why they took away, or why they captured these places? Because they can tell the farmers of these places, or they can force the farmers of these places to produce these things in the maximum quantity, right? So that was the reason. To consolidate the British rule in India, consolidate means to make it more strong, more powerful. So to consolidate the British rule in India and to run the administration smoothly, that means to manage all the activities, because we know India is a very large country, and to go from one place to another, it took lot of a time, right? So to make things easy, right, and to do the administration or the management smoothly, okay, many changes were introduced by Dalhousie in India. So what were the changes? We'll see now. During his tenure means the time period, okay? So during his tenure, the first railway line was started between Mumbai and Thane. So in India, for the first time, a railway line was started, and that was between Mumbai and Thane, right? So when all these things were started, that is, a railway line was started, then modern postal system means the post, right? So at that time there was no postal system in India, but Dalhousie started that, okay? And wireless system between India to England. Okay, so wireless system means what? So from the name it suggests, wireless means a connection which is done or made without the wires, that is through satellites or the radios, okay? through which so this kind of system was started during his time. So we feel or we think that Britishers were very good, they had started so many things for India, but actually the answer to this is no. All these things were not started for the facilities or for the betterment of the Indians. All these things were actually started for their own benefit, right? The Britishers, they wanted to improve their trade, they wanted to improve their management, so they had started all these things in India. Then later on, he passed laws to ban child marriage and advocated widow remarriage. So this was a great reform which was done by the, which was actually passed by the Britishers, that the child marriage should not take place. Why the child marriage should not take place? I'll explain you that whenever in the previous years, that means years back when this system was prevalent, child marriage system was prevalent, whenever the child was born, two friends, if there are two good friends, in one friend's house a boy was born, and in the another's house a girl was born. So when they were born, immediately they decided that they will marry their child with each other. Now you can just imagine that how selfish this thing is, or how means we cannot imagine this kind of thing at present, right? Because we know that after years and years when they will grow up, right, so what might be the situation, how the others might be looking, both of them might be looking. Many times it used to happen that during very early age the husband uh, got dead due to any circumstances. So at the very small age the girl became widow, and at that time, right, hundreds and hundreds of years back, there was a very strict rule, or the society was very indifferent towards the widows, right? They were not treated properly in the society. So a girl whose actual life has not really started also, right, at the very early age she became widow, and she had to leave all the happiness and all the society belongings and everything in the society, and she had to live in a small house and wear only white colored clothes. So this was actually a wrong thing, and due to it, it was removed from the Indian society. A ban was kept on that, and he advocated widow remarriage. So in the earlier years, as I gave you an example, if a girl, she became a widow at a very early age, for her whole life she had to live alone in a small hut or a house in a single room. She was not supposed to talk to anyone, she was not supposed to go to the temple, she could not wear any kind of colorful clothes or jewelries or anything, right? So this was a kind of injustice towards her or towards the widows. So actually, due to any circumstances, if her husband is dead, then she might or she should have the right to get married again and to live her remaining life very happily, right? So at the time of Dalhousie, he advocated means he promoted that the widows, the girls who are getting widow, they should marry again, right? So he insisted on widows getting married again. Okay, English education spread in India during this time, but actually the English education was started by Macaulay, but it started spreading more during the time of Dalhousie. Okay, the first three universities in India were established in Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata in the year 1857 century. Thus, these reforms were basically for the expansion of British rule. See, you can see over here that all these benefits were not for the Indians, they were actually started for the benefit of the Britishers only and for their expansion only. Okay, although Indians benefited later on, so though these systems were started for Britishers and for their own management and administration, but later on the benefits were passed on to the Indians also. Okay, they had to suffer a lot with the introduction of British reforms. So when this Britishers, that is the Dalhousie, he banned the child marriage and they advocated widow remarriage, what the Indians thought that this Britishers are trying to break their faith in God. They are trying to disturb the society, right? So they were very much disturbed by these reforms which took place in the society. So due to that, what happened? There was a lot of dissatisfaction among the people of India. How? We'll see that. After the policy of subsidiary alliance, Dalhousie's policy of annexation shook the whole nation terrible. This resulted in the dissatisfaction of the people towards the British. You must have seen the film Kranti and Mangal Pandey. If you have not seen, then try and see this movie. So these are the revolutionary movies which at least once in our life we should watch it. Okay. At this time, the people were suppressed. Suppressed means the person or the people who are having the powers, they use this power in a wrong way to they use this power in such a harsh way that the other person who is on the opposite side, they are totally broken away, right? So improper use of the powers, we can say, that is suppression. Okay, so as it is given that at this time the people were suppressed under the dictatorial regime of British. Okay, so dictatorial means what? That means the power in the person or a group, that is power in one hand. Okay, one person is very powerful, and due to that he or she can do anything whatever they want to do it. So dictatorial means power with the ruler. Okay, so totally the power was in the Britishers hand, and so they were doing whatever they wanted to do. In addition to that, the reforms made by the Dalhousie added fuel to the fire. Adding fuel to the fire means making the situations worst, right? So as I said that he banned the child marriage, he advocated the widow remarriage. So as the people of India were very orthodox, right, purane khyal wale, so they thought that the Britishers were trying to destroy or break their faith. Okay, they were trying to destroy their culture. This is what the Britishers thought. Okay, different people reacted differently to railways, facilities of post and telegraph, and Western education. Orthodox people felt that the British wanted to destroy their culture. So orthodox people means the rigid people, purane khyalat wale people, right? The reforms done by the British were basically for running the administration smoothly. That is the management, doing the management easily. The dissatisfaction of people had reached a point of saturation. Point of saturation means highest level of point beyond which you cannot go. Right. So the dissatisfaction among the people had reached a point of saturation. That means they were very much frustrated, and they were in the state of rebellion. Rebellion means what? To revolt or to oppose, okay, against the authority, which resulted in the freedom movement of 1857. So in the year 1857, the people of India got together and they revolted or they fought against the Britishers for the first time. So this is it about the story and your chapter number 4. I hope so that you are able to understand everything, and if you like my videos, please keep on watching the videos and please subscribe my channel for further videos. Thank you everyone.